All right, so I think we have it going a couple of places. Let's make sure that we're all good. But yeah, this is really cool. And guess what, guys? This is free. StreamYard, check it out. I'm excited. I'm excited to see how this all turns out. But outside of that, I think we should be ready to go, right?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Awesome. Okay, great. So hello, everyone. Welcome to the next StyleForIt conversation. My name is Natasha Nurse. I am the style ambassador for the company, and all of our social, all of the newsletters, that's moi. Putting out the content, sharing kind of what makes StyleForIt such an amazing community. The beautiful woman virtually next to me is Faith Costa. She is amazing, guys. She's the perfect person to talk about what we're going to be talking about today because she is a model. Obviously, she is a social media influencer. She is an advocate. She's an artist. She supports body positivity, mental health. She is your go-to gal for feeling good and understanding how you can use fashion to better your life and how you can use social media to really make some things come true for you. So without further ado, I would love for you to share just a little bit more about yourself, just so everyone can kind of get to know you more.
Yeah, I mean, I think you hit the marks of what I do for sure. Again, I'm Faith Costa. I would say my main platform is Instagram in regards to my social media influencing, but I am a working plus size model in New York City and Los Angeles. I'm an artist as well. I'm a painter and an illustrator mostly. Major mental health awareness and body positive activist. So I do a little bit of everything, and they all seem to magically intertwine. So that's why I'm here. And I love to do what I do. And if, I think that the way that I've developed my career has really impacted all these little things like social media, with the art, with the influencing, with the modeling, with the fashion. It all kind of comes together. So I think that we always have really great chats about all things.
Absolutely. And if you are not familiar with the StyleForIt platform, you've been hiding under a rock because we talk about it every single month, guys. So, okay, I'm going to give it to you. You guys got to go check it out. Learn more about the community at StyleForIt.com. It is the first online plus size consignment platform dedicated to sizes 12 to 32. What does that mean? It means you can buy new and gently used clothes at a very great discounted price, which, as us curvy ladies know, there's a higher cost to being plus size because our clothes don't cost the same as straight size women clothing. For some reason, they like to charge us more. So hey, we've got to find ways to dress our beautiful, voluptuous bodies without breaking the bank. So StyleForIt is a really great option when it comes to that. Next, if your closet is filled with clothes bubbling out that you don't like and you don't wear, right? Faith shaking her head. She knows the deal. I know the deal. You know the deal. Get your life and pull all of those clothes out and sell it. Sell it at StyleForIt.com. If you don't want it, it can be a gem to someone else. And then lastly, you get really great content like this. We call it StyleForIt Conversations because every month, beautiful Faith and other influencers come on and speak with me about really pressing matters that are important to us, that are important to you, that can help you kind of navigate this world of fashion, your career, self-empowerment, mental health, body positivity, body love, all of that good jazz. So that's StyleForIt. It's a multi-tiered kind of platform. That's why we call it a platform. So again, go to StyleForIt.com to learn more. And I think with that, we should jump right into the topic. I have my notes. I'm prepared. So yeah. Today we're talking all about kind of how do we live beyond the likes and follows in social media. There's more to life than what's happening online, right? And so first I'd love to kind of get out the gate for you to talk a little bit about how social media has played a role in your life, the good, the bad, the ugly, and everything in between.
So social media, believe it or not, despite what people think, can be a really good thing. Yeah. When used properly. So originally, my whole teenager and early adult years, I used social media personally. It's just my friends and family, post silly things. Okay. But I really then, it was about 4 years ago, kind of created a whole new page for myself at Faith_plus fashion. And I specially curated that page for all things not kind of family and friend related.
Yeah.
I posted my clothes, I posted my fashion, my body positivity journey, and all these things. And with that, I was able to connect with literally thousands of people, thousands upon thousands of people around the world that related to things that I enjoyed as well and that I could connect to. And I really, really appreciated that this was a whole thing for free that we could obtain. You know, I didn't understand at that time. And with that, I began my career out of it. I was able to work with brands and connect with other influencers and models and writers and magazines and photographers and artists. And, you know, the way that you use it is a choice. The way that you consume it is also a choice. So for me, I have had to learn. And I think for all of us, we think that because it's in front of us, we're supposed to like, post, do it exactly what everyone else is doing. And not the case. You know, for me specifically, I made a rule for myself that, you know, because there's already so much hate and anger and trolls and all these awful things in the world every day, I refuse to be a part of it. If I'm going to put it out in the world, it's going to be positive, right? So even if I'm having a hard time in my life, I'm going to show that in a constructive way, you know, because I do share the good, the bad, and the ugly. I like to think that I do, but I'm going to do that in a kind, respectful, and relatable way. So that other people feel just as comfortable and encouraged to do the same and to, you know, really connect on different levels, whether it's just about clothes or fashion or whether it's about, you know, these deeper things. Social media is a powerful tool. It's a free, powerful tool that connects millions of people around the world. And we need to take advantage of that, right?
Yes.
But
absolutely.
at the same point, while we are good people, some maybe not so good people are also using it too. So with that, you do have to kind of learn along the way. Set your rules, your boundaries for yourself. How do you deal with trolls yourself? How do you deal with hate? What is your response going to be? Are you going to have a response? You know, how will you create it? And so for me, you know, I have my couple rules. Again, putting out genuine content that I love, refusing to give in to any bullies, you know, and mean people. You get blocked, deleted, doesn't matter. They don't deserve the time of day, right? This is my space. You're allowed to view it because it's public, sure. You're allowed to have your opinion, but I'm also allowed to delete it and block it. I have that right as well.
Absolutely.
So for my career, I really even did it connected with the Instagram platform. I started off blogging, right? And then I got more into the fashion side of things. And I started meeting people and going to events because of it. And through the events, then I started networking. I started modeling. So it really snowball, and all is purely because I decided to start an Instagram page 4 years ago.
Wow.
So it's been a journey, but thank whoever for
I love that. Thank whoever.
All the tech people making money off of it.
Yes, absolutely. I love that. And guys, did you follow that? How she was saying one led to the other. It wasn't all just at once, and it wasn't stuff that she could even predict, right? And that's what's so powerful about success and the journeys that we have in our lives, that we don't even know what we're stumbling upon. Like, you didn't know what you were walking into when you're like, I'm going to create a Facebook and Instagram. Like, you didn't have a clue what was coming your way, but the amazement, the glory, and how much impact you have now. I mean, you have 95,000 people who follow you, who support your journey. And that's incredible that you have influence over those people. And that's this year. Who knows where you'll be at 3, 5, 10 years from now, right? Who knows what you'll be even doing, but it's amazing. I think for me, for social media, I have used it as an opportunity to educate others as well as educate myself. I think it's a really, like you mentioned, people are sharing really great things. People are trying to reach out. People are sharing their journeys, and you can get inspired. You can get motivated. I mean, some people look at posts and it helps them lose weight. It helps them get in control of a domestic violence situation. It helps them get off addiction, right? It can be a life changer, a game changer, but it can also do to many of us what it does. And this is kind of a premise of what we're going to talk about. It takes a toll, right? Because it's non-stop. Just because you decide to stop posting at 10 p.m. doesn't mean that the world stops, right? Like, it keeps going. And also the good, the bad, the ugly of it keep going, and people get trolled and harassed. And so it's a double-edged sword, right? It's a double-edged sword, but at the end of the day, I agree with you. I think it's a powerful, positive, overwhelmingly positive tool. People can use that tool for negative, but you decide, like you said, how you use it and how you consume it. And I think if you keep those two things in mind, that's how you're in control of social media instead of it being in control of you. Because I've heard people say there's now like mental health diagnoses with social media, and like social media depression and like things like that. And it's like, wait a minute, we're getting used by the tool that we should be using. We have to change kind of what's going on there. So I guess in this 4+ year journey for you, what would you say has been the key things that you've done to grow your social media presence and have it continually be a benefit to you?
So I would say the first thing, it sounds a little bit contradictory, but I'm consistently changing. I'm consistent in what I stand for and the types of things that I want to do and produce and put out there. But with the world, I am making sure that I am learning all the time. And as technology grows and the world changes, you have to keep up with it too. How many, just on the base level of it, technology-wise, how many updates has Instagram had in the past 4 years? Way too many. I remember when they first did the slideshow, the carousel pictures where you could post more than one, or even when they only square photos. Like, you have to learn and adapt and educate yourself. You can't be stuck in that one place, because then you will not, well, I shouldn't say will not, but it's going to be very difficult to then thrive forward if you're stuck in one place. You have to be willing to grow and learn and change within yourself. But at the same point, I am consistent in who I am, what I stand for, my style, my passions, and really just, my core self. And I think it's really important. And I think that follow me know who I am. I've had people following me at the very beginning, and I've had people, newer followers. And I think that in that same sense, whether you started following me 3 years ago or last week, within a short amount of time, both people should be on the same page of to gather who I am and what I do, right? And I think that is really important to be consistent in that.
I love it.
Because the whole reason that I got followers, I think, was because people could relate to me and they saw themselves in me. I have a lot of different things that I talked about, whether it was fashion stuff, whether it was mental health, whether it was my own personal body positive journey. I think that hits a lot of different marks, and I think that a lot of people could really relate and really connect. And so for me, I think that I also, while doing that, was strategic in a sense with building my career and knowing that it might not grow, but I still would. Either way, whether I have 100 followers or 100,000 followers, it didn't matter. I was still doing the work, right? This is a job. Like, the social media part is a job, which is funny because then I also do have my other secret social media platforms that are just for my family and friends. And it's funny because I always forget to use those, because I do in my head think that I'm like, oh no, I can post that I was at the beach this week. I'm just having fun. But it is funny in that way. We have to use it how we see fit. So for me, the way that it's grown and over the past couple of years, really was it was a learning curve, you know,
Mm.
and through it, I literally met you
Yes.
through Instagram.
Woohoo! Yes.
Through Instagram. Okay. Like what a miracle that is, you know, it's the
Yeah.
small things in life that's
Mhm.
that's if that was the only thing that I got from Instagram, that would be the most amazing thing in the world, you know?
Thank you.
And so with that, you know, like working with you, we really did kind of plan out. I learned about posting more consistently, about,
Mhm.
you know, continuing to be genuine, to sharing the bits of myself, to how to promote brands and things, and to connect and do the blogging, social media stuff. And I really do think that is important, that if you do want to thrive on social media, you know, it isn't about the amount of followers, it is about the quality of what you're doing. And with that, you do have learn a skill set for it, because, you know, 10 years ago, there wasn't a class for how to use Instagram, how to be, how to do Facebook Lives. Like there's not, but nowadays there is. So, and it's on the internet, which is free. So we can, if you're watching this, then you're already like ahead of the game. Like take advantage of it, you know, if you have passion about it, if you want to do it, you want to post, if you want to do your modeling or your blogging or, you know, motivational, whatever it is, you can, because you're literally watching this right now.
You told people to get their life. Yes, I understand.
Together.
Get your life together.
There's no reason that you can't start today.
Exactly. Yeah, you can start right after you're done watching this. Right after, guys.
Yeah.
But you're so right. For the past couple of days, I've been really, myself included, just like, because you can always be better. You can be a better content creator. You can be a better writer. You can be a better speaker. You can be a better presenter. You can always be better. Complacency is the probably, for me at least, I would say the biggest sin that you could commit to against yourself. Because even if you're great, like Faith, guys, she's gangster. She's awesome at social media, but does it mean that she knows everything? No, of course it doesn't mean that. But, you know, are there things she can grow and do to expand her platform? Absolutely, right? But it's a choice. We all have a choice to decide how far and how wide we want to reach others in this world. But it takes time, like your fashion, like your schooling, like your career, social media, like anything else good and worthy in this world takes time, and it takes time to learn. And there's so many people, thankfully, like you're saying, who are constantly putting out content to help you understand the algorithms, to help you understand how to improve yourself. Thank you for the positive comment. We got a love. Awesome. Thank you. So, you know, we make sure you share this, and if you have questions, Faith is right here to answer. So now that we're on this high note of talking about kind of how powerful, how wonderful it is, what have been some of the obstacles that you've dealt with in this journey of yours?
Yeah, there's been a few. I mean, and that's the thing, is that it's not been a perfect journey, you know. So I think that the biggest thing for me, which is relatable, I'd say, to just about everyone, and which is that kind of connection of why people are going to therapy, why people are having a hard time with it, the depression of it, is because it's addicting.
Okay.
It literally can detach you from real life. You know, if you're sitting there on your phone all day, every day, you get sucked into it. You know, you're not talking to the person sitting next to you, you know, and I think that is a problem. You know, when you can, you know, social media is a great way to make a first step, but then to get to that event, but then once you're at that event, you have to actually speak and to actually make that real human connection, you know. And I think that often see things on social media from people that maybe present themselves in a way that is not authentic. And we get an image in our head of what everyone else is doing. Everyone's happy. Everyone's on a beach. Everyone's just having the time of their lives and beautiful and airbrushed. And it is literally not real. And I think that is damaging, because we already, and every day in the media, have been seeing that. It's been ingrained in us on TV, magazine, radio. We've constantly done that, right? We see the celebrities, and it is damaging. We know that it's a fact. But now it's the girl next door doing it. And then, like, So what, you know, and so you say, then it hurts yourself, you know. So for me, you know, comparing yourself to others, seeing, okay, these are other people that are doing similar things to what I'm doing. Why is it working for them or not? They're able to do this, but I'm not. You know, they seem to be doing this, you know, going to all of these events or having all this fun, and I'm not, and why? And it is kind of a cycle, you know. I've had to, honestly, at several points, take a break.
Okay.
I feel like we do see a lot of people saying, all right, taking a little social media hiatus.
Yeah.
And that's okay. If that's what you need to do to take a step back and unplug for a little bit, then that's what you need to do. You need to be able to identify that. If you truly feel like it's draining you emotionally, then that is important. I know for a fact at several points I felt exhausted of social media. You know, I felt obligated to post every single day, to take the picture every day, to post the thing on every single person's thing. And it was consuming me on an unhealthy level. So at the point, though, where a couple years later, I'm pretty proud of myself to know my limit and to make sure that I keep myself in check with it, you know. It is kind of funny that, you know, social media is a part of my job, right?
Yeah.
But when I go out with my friends, I maybe notice that they're on their phones more than even I am. And it's literally my job. And so if like a quote unquote average person who's not their job, if they're so that they cannot take their eyes off, like that says a lot, you know? So for someone to be doing it, to be creating that content, you have to make sure that your head and your heart are in check, because it can be exhausting, damaging. You know, you get hateful messages, and it's hard to not listen to people, even though they're strangers and completely irrelevant. You know, I don't know how many times I've been told that I'm ugly and fat and worthless and should die, and it's just like, all right, okay, come on, like I'm over it. Like it's really not that big a deal. Like you can't hate me that much. Like it's fine. You know. So you have to. It is a trial and error thing, and I think that for some people it's worse, for some people it's better. Some people don't have that kind of addictive personality, which is great. I think that other people do. I think it's hard because, you know, it's time filling. People are sitting on a bench, you know, at a coffee shop, home, in the bathroom, on your phone, right? And so again, if you are that content creator person, always looking to do the next thing, but you're not like actually living the moment. If you're on a vacation, only worried about taking the picture to post and not actually enjoying it, enjoying the vacation, enjoying the trip, that's when you kind of need to take a step back and kind of reevaluate things. Because why is it the reason that you're doing it, right? Because if it's actually about a passion, if it's actually genuine, then it shouldn't make you feel bad.
Absolutely.
So I know at points that like it has made me feel bad, and I've had to adjust myself and kind of check myself of my you know, goal set match of like my intention, you know. And it's hard, and it is hard, but then once you figure it out, it's like, oh yeah, no, this is amazing, right? I'm doing this, I love it. I'm putting out positive things. I'm connecting with real people that I care about and that are benefiting from each other, you know. It does kind of go that full circle, and it might go that full circle once or twice, 3 times, but you have to be able to take that chance on yourself and know that you are strong enough to figure it out. And it takes time, again, and it's hard to see because some people, you know, 1 in a million will go viral and blow up overnight. That happens. Rarely. Those are the ones that you're seeing, the ones that get 1 million followers in a week. That's not reality, though. That's a very, very small percentage. The whole rest of us are going the slow and steady journey, week after month after year at a time, really building the quality of what we're doing and creating a career out of it. Not just doing one viral video and then kind of disappearing, but oh my gosh, I have 1 million followers. It's not about that. It's about the work that you're doing.
Absolutely. And before I go and say you this is the first you have a marriage request, Faith. So clearly you're making impact word by word as we speak. So God bless you.
Oh boy.
boy. It's a good time. Yep.
No, I appreciate it. That's at least a positive message and not an I hate you, go die message. So I guess I prefer a marriage proposal over that.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, you touched on so many things. I think, I would add to it. Yeah, I think probably the most frustrating part is not all content is equally seen across the board, right? Because unless you're learning and anteing up on skills, you're going to be left behind. And I know for myself as well, I feel like, I have to keep learning more to find a better way to resonate, to connect. And I think that could be frustrating because you're like this, it's easy to get into that victim mindset of like, I have really good content, right? Why don't I have 1 million likes on it? Because sometimes it's not about being good, right? Sometimes it's just about being seen. Sometimes it's just about timing. Sometimes you just get shared by Beyonce, and then all of a sudden you've leveled up above someone who's been doing this for 10 years, right? Like, so it's sometimes it's just random luck. Sometimes it's, you've been doing the work. You've been finding out how to tweak, how to gain followers, and sometimes things don't resonate, right? You could be doing the right thing and maybe there's a misstep. Maybe, there's just something that's not connecting with your audience and then you lose followers. So I think the likes and follows, like, I would love for you to talk a little bit about the emotional connection to that. Like, how does that feel? And what do you say and what do you do to get over that? Because I think that is probably affecting a lot of people. I know even for myself, I've had to find ways to be like, it's okay, Natasha. Do not be upset, right? If they don't want you, it's like in life, right? If not everything is for you, not everyone is for you. But how do you work that out?
So definitely. So again, in the beginning, it was very hard to not equate, success with followers and likes. It's hard to make that distinction because it is a literal number to tell you this is how many people like you. This is how many, and I think that's really hard because it's so easy. Like, that is the most simple way to process any measure of anything is with a number, and they literally. So when you see that number go up every day, I remember the first day hit 10K, went from 999, to 10K. I was like, oh my God.
Yeah.
I mean, it felt like such an achievement. And it is, sense. I had worked hard for it. But to know that your worth isn't that is something that you really have to kind of search within yourself. Because again, like you said, you could be doing everything right. But guess what? Because like I said before, how many times has Instagram updated and changed their algorithms and changed the complete format of it, and they are kind of sometimes targeting other people to be seen and not you. And maybe there's maybe there's not, and you have to just kind of own it and kind of, I hate to say it, but you got to just suck it up. It can't be discouraged from it. You have to continue forward, because then if you're just stop, people don't know what could happen next month or next week. Maybe, okay, your posts haven't been doing well lately, but guess what? In 2 months, you could blow up, but you have to be consistent. You don't know. And that is kind of the magical, again, double-edged sword of social media, is that we kind of know nothing. It could all end in a second.
Yeah.
And it's a bit exciting and a bit stressful. And, it's there's a joke that, what would happen if Instagram went down? You wouldn't have a business anymore, right? But that's why we also have our Facebook and our LinkedIn and our websites. We have to work at all of that, right? So when you're just looking at a number of followers, it really doesn't equate to much if you're doing all of that other work. A couple likes on an Instagram post does not show how hard you work, how much people actually love work. Those 10 people that like your post would, I'm sure, give an arm and a leg for you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It means more to have those quality likes followers than those paid ones.
Yep.
How many times I get emails from companies trying to sell me followers.
Yep.
Disgusting. I've been getting so many more lately, and I think that they're taking advantage of it because they know that people have been struggling on social media, the algorithm. They know that our engagements are really low. So like, hey, this is super easy. It's kind of organic, but you're giving us money to do it. And it's like, no. You have to stay. I don't know. For me, I don't know how you feel about it, but I truly think that it should be an organic thing. You know, if you want to pay for advertisements, that's fine. But if you're going to pay for fake followers, that's just not worth it.
Yeah.
But you want real people to see what you're doing, right?
Yeah. I'm equally as passionate about it with you on that, because at the end of the day, it devalues your brand, and it also creates a false impression for the people that you are trying to do business with. So as a model, as an artist, as an influencer, you use your social media to present and grow your brand, but also you can sell advertising on your blog, you can sell services. But how does that work when then you've infiltrated your own following with fake following, and then you're trying to sell this whole package that doesn't really exist to a brand, and then when you're promoting it and it doesn't go well, you're left saying what? And then you're creating animosity in the market, and you're also making it harder for other influencers to say, no, I really do have 100,000 followers. So I agree. I personally, my perspective is, hey, Instagram, if you're watching, or, you know, anyone who runs social media, my letter of engagement would be, you know, why don't you ban anyone who has those types of those bots, those bot followers? Because it would be interesting to see who's left standing. And then, and then companies at least would know that, hey, if I give you a $500, $10,000, $20,000 check, that it's actually for the business of promoting my product in front of other human beings who actually follow you, who actually may or may not support what you're doing. But, you know, it's like a wild, wild west right now, because we have people who are like, ooh, look, I went from 0 to 100,000 followers in a day. Okay.
Right.
So glad that your credit card works. Like, get out of the grip, right? Yeah.
It is either that, or again, you got lucky and you went viral for a day, and okay, that's great. At the same time, I've seen people with 500,000 followers who get less likes and follows than me. And I've seen people with less followers than I do exceed me extraordinarily on their impressions and the things that they do. You know, I have, over the past 4 years, I've developed, again, I have about 95,000 followers right now on Instagram. I would say I had better engagement on my social media when I was at about 60,000.
Oh, interesting.
I would say I got more comments and more likes, hands down, 100%. And so in today's day and age, you know, I follow bloggers and things, people who are verified, who have 30,000, who have 20,000, who have 40,000. And technically do a lot better than me on social media. Right? So numbers, just because I have 95,000 followers, only so much. So that's why, you know, I could be doing better, you could be doing better, you could be doing worse. Of people that are have less or more than you. It is, at this point, it does feel erratic, and it feels very unfair. And, you know, for the people who, you know, have, you know, I even know people who have under 10,000 followers who get the same amount as I do, you know, and I kind of ask myself sometimes, like, how is that? You know, how is that the case? And, you know, because like you think that you do everything right. You do the hashtags, you do the timing thing. But at the same point, you can only worry about so much. Guess what? That is not my job. My job is to create. My job is to share. And my job is to work. Okay. I'm a model. You know what I mean? I am an artist. I am an influencer. And I'm not going to stop doing what I'm doing, or I'm not going to change so drastically that it isn't me anymore. And because then if you get to that fake place of those fake followers, the fake, you know, putting yourself out in genuine way, you know, I'm not going to post, you know, I'm sure I could post, you know, like I would say my bathing suit pictures do a bit better than maybe others, right? Unfortunately, we know why that is. Unfortunately, we do. I could do that all day, every day. I could post 5 of those a day, every day, and I would probably get more engagement. But guess what, guys? That's not me, and that's okay. And I'm not going to change that much just to get followers, because that's not why I'm doing this. It's for the bigger picture.
Yeah, exactly. And also, if you did do that and switched kind of the theme of your platform, who are those people following you? Are those the people that you want to be following you? Are those the people who are going to feed into the messaging you have to say? Or are they going to be there, and then whenever there's less nudity, they're going to be like, peace, right? Like, it's been real. And like, what was the point of that, right? So absolutely, I think that makes a lot of sense. I think what I have tried to do is, and what I'm trying to do now, is take it as a challenge to say, okay, well, if I wanted more likes and follows, what could I do differently next time, right? Not necessarily do the comparison game, because that is a losing proposition, as you said. Someone better, worse, it's always going to be something else. But what you can do is you can control what you're doing. So if you feel like there is a deficiency, which secret, like, there is always a deficiency, we can always be better. So, okay, well, what am I going to do, and what am I learning today? There's a lot of free resources. I love like HubSpot. I love Hootsuite offers content. There's all these influencers who they literally are like Instagram coaches and Facebook coaches. So they have free courses and a lot of content on YouTube. What are you going to learn every day to be better at this? If that's something you want to do, then put in the time, right? Don't bitch and moan and complain, but like, what's your action plan? I think that's what I've been trying to do now, even more hardcore, I would say. And I would say to anyone watching that, yeah, this is, if you want to get better, then what are you going to do about it, right? Like, what are you reading today? What are you learning today? Who are you speaking to? And maybe you do get a coach. Maybe you do go to the library. I'm big on the library out here. I actually have 2 in Arizona where I live, which, like, nerd city. I'm just like, oh my God, this is amazing. So I'm like all up on it, and I'm like getting the digital resources, getting in-person books. Get to it, right? Like, get popping, get to work. I guess with that, do you have tips on, like, so when you feel like, when people feel like, okay, it's getting too much, I need a social media break, what would you say are the biggest signs for that? And then how long should the break be? And what do you do on that break? I'd love for you to talk a little bit about that.
So for me, unfortunately, like, when I've figured it out, it gets to that point where it's like too far ahead. I feel like if you can figure it out within yourself, where it's like, I'm starting to get way too overwhelmed, it's feeling not good, it's stressing me out, you're making my chest hurt, you know, you should take a step back. What does that step back mean for you, though? I think it's different for everyone. Okay. For me, it means maybe not posting for a week or 2. Okay. You know, maybe, you know, and that's the thing that is really hard to still not check. You know, it's hard to, you have those apps on your phone. So even if I'm not technically posting or engaging, I do still check in a bit, you know, or maybe I'll focus more on my personal pages, you know, to see what my in-life family and friends are doing, you know, to try to ground yourself a little bit, you know what I mean? Like, and it's kind of sad. It seems like I'm living like a double life. It seems like a double life sometimes, you know. So sometimes you have to kind of pull yourself back to reality. I would say self-care days are always important, not just for this occasion. You should have them all the time, every week, whatever, regardless, but maybe you need a couple more of those. Maybe an extra, maybe 2 in this week instead of just 1, you know. I'd say on that time off, do things that don't involve your phone, which, you know, seems hard. So, because you have games on your phone, right? You have email on your phone. You have these things that are still technically on your phone. So it's like, oh, you're not on looking, then it makes it really easy to be like, oh, well, I'll just check for a second, and you're back in that cycle. Hey, guys, guess what exists? Books. You know, guess what else exists? Netflix is kind of nice too, to kind of just zone out to. Also, go to a coffee shop, hang out with a friend, you know, play with your dog or cats, or call your mom. Like, there's other things to do. You know, it's you know, play a board game. You know, it's like, we think that there's nothing to do anymore. I think that's the thing, is that it's like, well, you know, we're sitting around, it's like, oh, what are you going to do? Go, okay, I'm going to go on my phone. No, you have the space and abilities of the world around. Draw a picture, you know, paint your nails, like, go for a walk, you know. There's so many things that I think that we forget about to do, because all we've been doing is staring at our phones, taking photos, and kind of just endlessly on Twitter and Facebook and Pinterest and Instagram and Snapchat, but the filters and everything's just fake and bubbly, and who, you know, which is great and fun, and it's colorful and engaging, and that's why we like it. And at the same sense, if you look up, you know, you have friends in real life. You have
IRL, yes.
You know, I think it's really important. You have to get sunlight, go outside, not just to take a picture, actually enjoy it. You know, drink a cup of coffee without taking a picture of it. You know, it's hard. Trust me, I know, but it tastes real good. So for you, you have to figure out what that is for you. For me, it is all of those things. It's going to the coffee shop. It's, you know, binging series on Netflix. It really is, because I just love it. You know, it is kind of mindless, and it's not on my phone. It's, you know, art, you know, it's hanging out with my cats and my dog, and, you know, going out for drinks, like, and not being on your phone the whole time.
Exactly.
You know?
I love
what
that.
you enjoy that will actually, you know, bring quality of life to you, you know, and then do that for a period of time.
Exactly.
So is that for a day off? Is that for a week off? Has it gotten so bad to the point where you need a month off? If that's the case, that's okay. You know, you have to be able to take care of yourself, because again, if you're doing this whole social media thing, the whole Instagram thing, people are gonna know. Like, as much as everything seems fake and everything, like, people's intuitions, like, you can, it's a lot clearer than we think it is. You know, we think that everything's filtered and happy, and oh my God. But if you really look, you can tell. And you don't want to be that person that's doing it so fake, you know, just smiling and it just being empty, you know. Continue what you started. Do it with the same passion and gumption that you started off. And if it takes you some time to get back to that, that's okay. But for me, I would rather take the time off than to put things out there that aren't genuine, that make you feel like shit. You know?
Absolutely.
It's not worth it. It's not worth the likes, it's not worth the follows, and the content's not going to be good. Not going to be good. And I know it, you know?
Absolutely. You are so correct. I feel like it is, because social media is a personal curation of a journey, right? Then you're absolutely right. I don't think there's any specific time that you could say that works for you and everyone else. And I think that, you know, what I would like to see is maybe us as a society getting to a point where we don't need a social media break, but that we're using it in a way that it doesn't become overwhelming. Because I've been there with you right there as well, where you get tired and you get frustrated and you're like, I have nothing to say. And it's like, that's not true. You always have something to say, but what's the disconnect? Why don't you want to say it to social media? Why are you not vibing it? What are you not getting out of it that makes you say, ugh, maybe tomorrow, ugh, next week, ugh, forget it, right? Like then we're not using it the right way, because we shouldn't get to that point. And if we are, I've seen some accounts do this whole thing where they tell their audience, like, you know what, guys, I need a break. You'll see me in a couple of weeks or a couple of months. And I appreciate that. I appreciate that they let their followers know that, like, you know what, I'm having some issues. I've seen you as well, like, talk about, you know, like, this isn't a good, you know, mental health day. This isn't a good mental health week. And I think transparency is key. I think when you are getting to that point of like, I'm feeling overwhelmed, I'm feeling like this isn't for me right now, that you just share that, right? Because you might start a conversation where someone can give you some motivation, some healing, because they too are going through it, or they too have advice on how to handle the situation. So I think the more transparent you are, the more that people get it, and they're like, I hear you, boo. Like, yeah, it's a rough day right now. Like, it's, you know. And I would say for me, that probably has been one of the biggest struggles for me, because I've mentioned in our previous conversations that, like, how I was raised, it has really been hard for me to break away from, like, always being strong Natasha, right? Like, I was raised where, like, anything other than strength is not acceptable. It's actually going to be mocked and persecuted. So and even if it's not being done because I'm not a child anymore, I don't have my parents, you know, down my throat, but I still have that voice in my head, right? I still have that, it's not okay to be sad. It's not okay to be, sick, and it's not, and so I'm constantly internally battling that self-talk. And then I'm also struggling with, well, how do I share that today is a bad day? Do people really care? And is it helping the conversation at all? Because when you talk about feeling bad over and over and over again, is it just bitching and moaning, or is there healing from it? So I'm constantly debating just how honest is honest, and what's the value of the honesty. So I guess I'd love for you to share about that, like in the moments of challenge, in the moments of obstacles, how has social media helped versus how has it not helped?
So I think that when times have gotten tough for me, I have gone back and forth with it. I think you and I have talked privately about it, where I maybe at points thought, oh, I'm going through a really maybe extra bad time. And me thinking, oh, I should talk about this. This is something. But then at the same point, that's kind of a lot to put on to the internet sometimes. I think that there is maybe a line for each individual person. And I think I do know mine. I think that it's hard because in the moment you're like, yeah, this is a good idea. This will make me feel better.
Yeah.
And then you type it out and then reread it and go, oh boy, that's intense. Like, oh, that's really, really maybe alarming. It's going to be probably triggering for a lot of people. Okay. Maybe I should do this when I am in a slightly better mindset, and to do it in a more of a quality control way. So, like for me, then okay, I wait the couple weeks, and then I kind of come and say, hey, I was going through a tough time recently. Okay. Just wanted to let you guys know, like I'm coming back. I went through this, and to kind of go through it that way. And in that sense, I feel like that is constructive, because then I know when I am going through that hard time, I know I'm going to get out of it. I'll be able to get back to doing what I'm doing. Then at that point, when I do share, people say, oh my God, me too. Okay. I thought there's something going on, blah, 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 blah. Yeah. It's so nice to see you back. We missed you. We want to see what we're doing. I feel the same way. And I think that is beneficial. Okay. I think just to know that someone's feeling a similar way that you are. I mean, I think with the mental health things and social media exhaustion, we don't talk a lot about man, I'm really sick of Instagram. No one's going to say that on Instagram, it's hard. So when you see someone when you're scrolling and you see, someone say, oh my gosh, I needed to take a break. I need to take a break, or this doesn't feel good. If you're reading that being like, oh my God, I thought I was the only one, and this, and that, then that is worth it. At the same point, it can depend. I think that if you are doing it every day, if you're doing it for if you're talking so much so about it and gaining from it in a not healthy way, that's like, oh, you're getting followers because you're talking about all these negative things all the time. That's also not good. I think that there is a happy medium. I think that that's the thing, is not everything is so black and white. You know what I mean? And I think that we in our heads make things way more complicated than we need to. Definitely. In reality, okay, the baseline is, if it makes you feel good and isn't damaging to yourself or others, cool. Then awesome, and chances are, if you're posting something, if it is serious, I would say to handle it with care. Again, I've definitely made maybe some close calls myself, and I luckily did kind of put that in check, because I do know that it would be upsetting for other people. And that's not what I want to do. What did I say when we started this video? I do not want to contribute to the chaos that is the world already, right? But in that same way, I know that sharing parts of it will really help people. Because I know that because I've tried and I've been told. And it is trial and error, People will tell you, hey, I don't like this. Because guess what? The internet and people can say, hey,
yeah,
I don't like what you're putting out there, you know, or people message you and say, oh my God, this is amazing. This really helped me today. And or, I really love this. And even if it's just an outfit of the day picture that someone like loves, like, yes, and that's a good thing. And you have to figure out your happy medium for how much you want to share, how much you don't, when you want to take breaks, and to identify when you are feeling overwhelmed or not, you know?
Absolutely. I completely agree. I think, you know what we should do? When you were talking, I had the idea. I was like, we should do a joint post on like social media golden rules, because I loved how you said, listen, guys, the baseline is if it feels good for you and it doesn't harm yourself or others, 2 thumbs up, right? Like, because yeah, it's like the golden rule, right? Like, do not put harm against others, don't harm yourself, right? And so we should totally collab on that, because
100%.
yeah, right. Social media golden rules. Like, what are the rules that work to make sure that you're okay and that the community abroad is okay, but yet you're doing your thing, you're sharing your platform, you're building awareness, but you're not bringing down someone else along the way. And
our jobs are to create safe spaces for ourselves and others.
Yes. Oh, I love that. See, okay. Rule number 2. Listen. Go ahead, Faith.
Choose, I think, all I got right now. Give me a minute. But really, because these are things that I think about often, because again, this is my job, you know, and we've done it for a bit of time now. So we kind of have gone through it. You kind of see, you know.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I guess with that, because I don't want to take up too much of your time, because she's so amazing. Guys, she would be here forever, but she's got a life to live, right? We have to have a cutoff time.
Unfortunately.
Exactly. I guess for just last words of wisdom, what would you say to yourself, you know, when you got started now that you have all these years of experience behind you? What would you say to her when she was getting started that you think would either help the journey and or for newbies out here in the world as well? What could help them on this path that they're embarking?
That's difficult. And I only say, just for specifically me, it was difficult because I genuinely didn't set out for a read. Like I genuinely had no intention. Genuine no intention or idea about any of this. I literally had no idea that I'd be doing what I'm doing. Not even in the slightest. Like, I'm not joking. I'm not being humble. I literally did not know. Like, it kind of happened. I hate to say it happened. And then also, you know, I worked really hard. Once it started to happen, I felt right. And then I worked hard and I learned, right? So you are starting off with the intention. I would say, give yourself time, take it easy on yourself, and educate yourself. Consistent. Follow accounts and people that make you feel good and that teach you something. Don't be afraid to reach out and make connections. You know, this is the internet. It's not, you know, some, like, you know, things are attainable. People, you can reach out to us and ask us questions. Like, we're not some unrealistic thing. You know what I mean? It really is real and it can happen. You know, be hopeful and kind. Honestly, that's all it is. Absolutely. I would say if you're genuine, hopeful, and kind, there's no reason that you can't be successful.
Absolutely. And I guess to add to those beautiful words of wisdom, guys, taking it in. I hope you took notes, everyone. Watch this over again, because this is super powerful stuff here. I would say, you know, in addition to like educating yourself, be eager to be in this process, right? Like Gary Vaynerchuk, shout out to Gary V, anyone who loves him. You know, he says, love the process, right? Not the outcome. And I think that, so it's super easy to get caught up with the outcome, because again, what are we looking at? We're looking at likes, we're looking at follows, we're looking at engagement, we're looking at insights, right? Those are all outcome determinative numbers, right? But what about the process? Did you enjoy putting the creative together? Did you enjoy the photo shoot? Did you enjoy, you know, trying on a new outfit that was like expanding your comfort zone? And yeah, it also happened to get 1,000 insights, but guess what? You tried a whole new outfit. You pushed yourself in a whole new way, right? remember what's important. And you mentioned this a couple of times. And I think that that's really key, that we can't lose sight of the purpose of what we're doing, right? So if you're building a fashion account, if you're building a business account, whatever the premise or the industry you're in, what's the genuine purpose that's driving you? Because you have to be grounded every single day to keep going to the next day, because there's a lot of distractions and there's a lot of reasons to just stop. So if you don't hold tight to that grounding and, like you said, intention, then you're going to get lost in the shuffle. And it's okay if things aren't going right, but it's not okay to not make changes. So like, I love that you said you've been consistently changing and learning. So pay attention. If something's not working, make a shift. I know that sometimes change can be challenging, but the cost of not changing is more than I think most people can bear. So be willing to change. And then lastly, I think the other thing is, have a positive outlook, right? Don't post something and be like, no one's going to see it. No, like, step into the presence and the outcome that you do want, and stop cutting off your blessings, right? A lot of times it's super easy to just be like, this won't work. I won't ever get to this number. This person will never say yes to my pitch. If you refuse to believe in yourself, you can never ask anyone in this world to believe in you, ever. So it starts from within, right? Self-belief and self-confidence breeds opportunity, breeds glory and amazement that you deserve, that we all deserve, but you have to start from within. So if you're struggling with that, work on that every single day. What makes you confident? What are things that you can do? And the other thing I would add to just the earlier conversation about kind of what are things to do in a break, I agree that, like, every month we should be doing 3 to 5 things that either we love to do or that we've never done and we want to do, and include that maybe in your social media journey. Because, like, there's some things I want to do, like I want to do rock climbing. I've never done it. For some reason, I'm like really obsessed because, I live in desert mountain time, right? Like, so now out in Arizona, like, people actually rock climb, and I'm like, that's so cool and so crazy. But
you gotta do it.
I know, right? Like, so my birthday will be coming up soon. So, I'm going to do it, right? And I'm gonna make an effort to push myself, because just because it's scary, just because it's unknown, doesn't mean you shouldn't do it. So those are the only other things I would add. And with that, how can people champion you, Faith? How can they follow you, learn more about you? Where do they go?
Yeah, so again, my main platform is Instagram at faith_plus_fashion, but you can just visit my website, faithcosta.com, and that'll connect you everywhere. I have my Facebook page. I got a little bit of everything. Connect you to my art page and everything. I would say just go to my website, faithcosta.com.
Absolutely. Okay. And do you have anything upcoming, anything, on the lookout from social media or for your art?
I have some art things coming up. I'm kind of always working on a little bit of something. So I would say start following now, and I'll always keep everybody in the loop.
I love it. All right. And I'm just going to add the link for StyleForIt.com. I think you still have to add some more stuff there, right?
Yeah, I'll be adding things very soon. I just got home from vacation. I gotta get it all together. So I'll be sharing that with everyone soon too.
Perfect. All right. And so if you have questions for me, you can connect with me at dressingroom8.com. I'll put that in here as well. And then with that, I guess we're going to have to say goodbye. Oh no. I know, but that's okay, because if you guys have more questions, put them in the comments. Me and Faith can come back in here and we can totally still engage with you. If you missed anything, what do you have to do? Just watch this on replay and make sure you share it. Share it with 2 friends who you feel like could benefit from this conversation. Tag people in the comments that you feel like should come in. And then with that, we thank you for joining us, and shout out again to StreamYard. This was pretty cool, right? You like that?
Cool.
Yeah. So very great. See, a new social media tool that everyone can use, StreamYard. Check it out. And with that, thank you, Faith. And thank you, everyone, for tuning in, okay?
Bye.
Bye.